Yeah, it was wild for about the first 45 days, but now we got a little normalcy. We got into a house, so now I'm becoming an expert guy at unpacking. I'm in charge of the boxes. That's my job. So no, it's gotten a lot better. It's gone smoother and things as it's gone along. It's just that first couple months you have a lot to do to get everything in place.
Coach, take me back to the moment you got the official offer from Scott Dolson and what the emotions and thoughts going through your mind were.
Yeah, I think for me, it's one of those things where it's like you think of Indiana, and it's one of the biggest brands in all of college basketball. And for me, being a Midwest guy, growing up in Iowa, growing up in the Big Ten, old Big Eight, and understanding the history of Indiana and what that means on the landscape of college basketball, it was one of those things that's like a dream job for myself and my family, and couldn't have been more excited.
And yet I'm sure fair to say it's never easy to leave a job when you've started to build something that you appear to have headed in the right direction like you did at West Virginia.
Yeah.
What's been your approach, the approach of your staff as you're out there on the road looking at players to try to build a roster that we know is going to look almost entirely different than the one that we saw on the floor a year ago?
Yeah, it was the first part was just getting some guys. We started with very minimal guys on the roster, and as you're putting a staff together and putting a team together kind of simultaneously, there's certainly some challenges with that as the portal's open and things. But the portal also presents opportunities. When you have a situation like that where you can kind of replenish a roster again, and we're very excited about where we're at. Looking forward to the team getting on campus here in the next couple of weeks and getting started.
You haven't coached a game yet, which means the good news is you haven't lost a game yet either. And as you know, at any place, results affect how the fan base views you and views your program. But there's perhaps very few places in the country where that fishbowl is like it is in Bloomington. How have you, if you have at all, started to prepare yourself mentally for what the challenges of being a coach at a place like Indiana can be?
I think for a lot of coaches, we put enough pressure on ourselves to try to win. So I don't think that changes a lot from my mindset. We're going to work as hard as we can every day to try to put ourselves in the best position. And we understand, like you said, a lot of places have passionate fans. We have passionate fans, and I love the fact that we have people that really care about the results of our games. And I think that's a good thing. There's a reason that so many people show up at the games. They want Indiana to be a winner, and that's our job, is to try to make that happen.
For those who maybe haven't seen your teams play in recent years, what style, what tempo, what pace are they at when they're playing the way that you want them to play?
Yeah, in the ideal world, we would play a very open game offensively, share it, hit a lot of threes, take advantage of, having a lot of guys on the floor that really understand, spacing, ability to make plays. And then defensively, trying to be very, very, very physical and tough on the defensive end, primarily man-to-man, trying to get into the ball, applying a lot of pressure and being very connected as a defense.
So knowing that as you go into the portal, how much is balancing guys that you think fit into your system, but also guys that fit into your culture, and hopefully guys that fit with the other new players that are coming in? Right.
For us, it was trying to make them fit both, fit what we do and fit that culture piece. And like I said, I really love the team that we have put together. I think we have a great group of guys, and now it's about them coming in and learning to play together and fit together. But I think the pieces that we have coming complement each other very well, and I look forward to this process now as you begin on the basketball floor.
And we'll see, obviously, not just one DeVries, but two on the floor. Tucker come with you, a two-time Valley Player of the Year before missing almost all of last year with injury. What makes him a special player?
Yeah, I think for him, it's just I think he really understands.
Relationship been like for you? I mean, some coaches I know say it's easier, and some coaches say it's actually harder to coach somebody who's also in your house.
Yeah, I think it's been pretty smooth from our standpoint. That you certainly probably have your days here and there, but for the most part, we're able to kind of keep the coach and player relationship kind of separate when we're on the floor, and then when we're off the floor, it's father-son, and we've kind of approached it that way, and it's worked out great to this standpoint, and looking forward to this last year together.
How much of a sense do you have at this point early on in which of those other players that are on your roster right now will probably have to be instant impact guys for you right from the jump?
Yeah, I'm hoping we have several, and then that's where these upcoming months will kind of separate that out as we begin to kind of put the team on the floor and see how the pieces all fit together. But I think we're going to have a great balance within our team, and I think we're going to have to rely on that a lot.
What was your perspective of this league, if you had one? I know if you're not playing Big Ten teams, you're just worried about the teams that are on your schedule, but basketball coaches are paying attention to other leagues. So from the outside, what was your perspective on this league, especially last year as it became a bigger and deeper league than it had ever been before?
Yeah, as we all know, it's a great league. It's very deep, really good coaches. We're doing conference meetings, so there's a lot of guys that won a lot of games in that room and been very successful. And then, the teams are all very talented. And the other thing I think nobody talks about is all the great home court advantages that people have within the league. So you get a lot of places where you're walking into a full house every night, and that's what college basketball should be about.
How much have you thought about that first night and what it will be like for you walking into a full house at Assembly Hall?
Yeah, it's exciting. I mean, you walk into Assembly Hall, it's just one of the most unique places maybe in all of college basketball. It's just got that aura to it, that vibe to it, and you see the banners hanging up, and you understand that you look up and that thing is straight up and down, and you visualize it full. I've been there as an opponent before, so I know what it feels like on the other side. I'm hoping the other side, the other bench goes a little bit better.
Yeah, usually a little bit more fun to be at home coaching there than it is coaching a road team. Finally, let's finish with measuring success, because we all measure success by wins and losses. But for you, at least in year one, at least at the start, are there other kind of barometers or measuring sticks that tell you you're progressing in the right direction?
Yeah, I think for us, especially with almost a completely new team, it's really about when you get done at the end of the season, did you feel like you got everything you could out of that group? And that's something that we'll focus on every day. And I try not to really get into like we have to win this amount of games. It's really kind of stay very process oriented into what we're doing every day, and then hopefully those results come in a positive way.
Darren, great to meet you. Like I said, I can't promise this backdrop every time, but I'm sure we'll do many more of these throughout the course of the year. Look forward to seeing your team on the floor.
Thank you. Appreciate it.